so cool to be here. I live in Austin, Texas, and I get so excited when I'm invited to San Diego. But I want to start off with a message of hope, and a visual of hope, and of never giving up. And it all starts with this and this. So this is my first book, Life Without Ed. And if for those of you not familiar with ED stands for eating disorder. I was taught to treat my eating disorder like it was a person rather than an illness. So I actually put it in a chair and I talked to it. I learned to make room for my voice, separate from the disorder. These are all rejection letters for my first book. Every single one of them. I have more at home. And my eating disorder recovery taught me that you fall down 7 times and you stand up 8. It's my favorite Japanese proverb. Fall down 7 times, stand up 8. I kept sending letters because my eating disorder recovery taught me resilience. It taught me strength. It taught me courage. It taught me to never, 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 never give up. Because of recovery, I've been able to fulfill dreams that I never imagined would be possible. And that's what we want to leave you guys with, that hope today. Now I'm going to stop talking because I really want to bring our awesome panel up. We have amazing panelists over there. I'll bring Nikki. Would you like to come forward? Nikki DuBose. She is an incredible woman who I've recently just gotten to know, and I love your website. She's a former actress as well as model, and she's become a speaker and writer and mental health advocate. She actually has a book coming out. She just told me the title. It's called Washed Away from Darkness to Light. When does that come out? In a couple of months?
It should be out in a couple of months.
Yeah, she has it. So stay tuned for her book. And you guys, I'm giving you short intros, so please take time to read their full bios. You have a program with you. I'll bring Jessica Raymond. Please come up. So here is a recovery warrior, and she is the recovery warrior. She founded Recovery Warriors, which if you haven't checked it out, it's an incredible website, and she's all over the place with it. Instagram, I'm blown away by all your posts on Instagram. She's a pro. I need you to teach me Instagram tips. I post like once every 6 months, and I feel like that's good, but she posts a lot, and it's really inspirational stuff. She also has an awesome app. It's called Rise Up Plus Recover, so you can get that on your phones tonight, right? Yeah, it's free. And so Shannon Kopp, please come forward. So this lady, she's the one really responsible for tonight, you guys. She has worked so hard. She's the director of marketing here at Montecatini, but this was her. I give credit to her for this, all your hard work. I will hold her up. She's an author as well. Pound for Pound. Isn't it cute? There's a little dog on the So her book, I just started reading it. You guys, this book is awesome. You have to get it. We have it for sale here. It's very touching and heartfelt, and you're a great writer, so keep writing. And then we'll bring up Jennifer Plummer. Where are you? Oh, there you are. You're not in the panelist room. And Jenni, she goes by Jenni too, actually. So Jenni, your story really inspires me. She is an amazing story of life coming full circle. So she struggled with an eating disorder for about 18 years and got help here through the staff at Montecatini, right? And what's amazing about her story is that she now works as a group therapist here at Montecatini. So how is that for life coming full circle? You come here as a patient, and now you work here as a group therapist? That's amazing. And that's a true testimony to the fact that you guys are doing awesome work here at Montecatini. And she also is very much involved with the Hope Restored Store, which I'll talk about again. They actually do it, and the idea came up in your group, right? It's called Meaning Making. So she runs a group called Meaning Making, and the ladies really wanted to support Project Heal, and which Project Heal is an awesome organization. Don't miss their booth. It's way in the back, far right door. You must go in there and pick up stuff. Nita has a booth in there too, about the law. But that kind of came out of your group as far as Hope's Restored and how it's helping Project Heal. So thanks for doing that. So now that we have all you guys here, we kind of have some prepared questions. So I'm going to ask a few of them. But this is the time to start thinking about your questions if you have any. I'll start actually with Jennifer. when you struggled, or actually, you know what, before we do this, why don't we tell a little bit about our stories first? Like, I want them to know a little bit more about you guys, so maybe share briefly a few minutes about your personal story, and then we'll jump into questions.
Alrighty, well, I'm honored to be here because the word dream holds a lot of significance in my life, because as a little girl I always felt like I was a dreamer, and it was really easy for me to fall into the realm of my imagination. And I found that I had imaginary friends, imaginary squirrels, imaginary insects, and the reality was that my life was not a fairy tale, and I had a lot of painful memories to work through at a very young age. And so the development of my eating disorder started around my first memories were of me binge eating, and I kind of had the loaded gun there with the genetics and the environment to really trigger an eating disorder. And so throughout my whole life I battled different forms of eating disorder, subtypes you could call them. And I found recovery in college, and that's when I fully committed myself to the process and have gone on to now create Recovery Warriors, which has completely changed my life. And it's much more than me, the Instagram, for example, that's my amazing team member, Miriam, she does that. And so it's, Recovery Warriors is a multimedia resource hub where we have an app, a podcast, as well as that I host the Recovery Warriors show, along with an online magazine. So what really happened with my story is I've been able to create the platform that has built a community around the clinicians who write for us, who help heal the warriors, who use our resources. And so it's been a really fun process for me, and I'm excited to share how that tied into my dreams.
Hello, I'm Jenni Palmer. My eating disorder began probably around the age of 12, and I would say that I battled probably in and out of it for 18 years of my life. I went through periods of being recovered, but then relapsing, and really when I got to Montecatini, I would say that it was the beginning or laying the foundation for me, but it was a long journey after being in residential treatment. And I mean, yeah, this is huge for me just to even think about the fact that I'm here now on this panel, talk about dream big. I mean, I never would have, I mean, I remember reading your book and thinking like, that's not going to be, no. I'm actually forced to read it. I hear that a lot. But, you know, I just look back now and think, how I never would have pictured myself here, imagined myself here, and a lot of what Jenni shared about just sometimes just taking the next step, that next little step, you know, out of the plane. And I mean, yeah, there's my therapist Nancy when I was here. So it's really special for me to look out and see her, and just very grateful. I'm very grateful to be here and share my story.
This is, talk about never thinking that you would ever be here. I definitely thought I would never be here speaking in front of an audience like this. But, you know, it's such an honor to be here, and I just want to say thank you for having me here. You know, I struggled with eating disorders for over 17 years, and many other issues as well. And I grew up in a house that had I went to a nice school, I had all the nice things, but I dealt with a lot of trauma from a very early age, and that kind of triggered the disorders. And, you know, when you go through something like that, you don't really know what else to do other than grab onto these behaviors, and that's what I did from a very early age. And I also dabbled with other things like alcohol and drugs, and did that for most of my life. And I had two dreams growing up. I liked writing, and I wanted to be a model. I thought that was the greatest thing in the world, was to be a model. But I didn't think I was particularly talented or pretty because the people that surrounded me, they told me that I was ugly and such. And I developed body dysmorphic disorder. I don't know if any of you are familiar with that. And when I started to model, I eventually did start modeling. I held on to my eating disorder. It was my best friend. And I became so sick that when I was modeling that I eventually had to make a decision, and I had to choose between my career or my health, because I had given everything to my career and my mental health, my physical health, and my emotional health. And but thanks to recovery, I made that decision, and here I am today, and I realized that my dream was not that. It was not modeling and being the face on the cover of a magazine. It was taking care of myself, and that led to writing, which was my original passion, and helping others and helping them to realize their dreams, and talking about mental health, which is extremely important. And recovery has given me so much more than I could have ever asked for or hoped for, dreamed for. So, whatever dream that you have in your heart, hold on to that, but don't get discouraged if it feels like that dream is dying, because it's never too late to dream again. Because dreams come and go, that's life. But it's never too late, like I said, to dream another dream. Thank you.
Hey everybody, Shannon, I'm so grateful to be here. I'm so incredibly proud to be a part of Montecatini. The amazing things that I witnessed happening here between the therapists, the dietitians, and the clients, and everyone here is truly a family, and I'm so blessed to be a part of it. I battled bulimia and depression for 8 years, starting when I was 16 years old and into my 20s. My mother's sitting right in front of me, and she's the best mom you could ever ask for. But like Jenni talked about, that voice of Ed, it's a very, bulimia is a very secretive illness, very shameful illness. And so I hid it from my mother and from the people who loved me. And I was afraid to ask for help, probably because I had become so comfortable with my eating disorder. It had become my coping mechanism, and I did also deal with some trauma growing up, and my eating disorder comforted me until it didn't, until it started destroying my life in every way possible. My relationships, I've been a passionate writer and animal lover all my life, and like Jenni said, I didn't know my favorite color. I didn't know, I would just stare at a blinking cursor. I couldn't write. It took everything from me. And I just want to say that I went to treatment 10 years ago and got a job working at the San Diego Humane Society. And I didn't know who I was coming out of treatment. And I quickly found out that nothing makes me happier than a dog about this size sitting on my lap and grounding me in the moment. And I ate my snack. The dogs tried to eat the snacks too, but I would eat my snacks with them. I just surrounded myself with them because I was in the scariest time of my life. I was coming out of treatment trying to learn how to live without this disease. Shortly after that, I went to one of Jenni's talks. And I never would have thought, back all those years ago, I remember just sitting there thinking, I can't eat dinner. And now I have more than 6 years of recovery, and I have a book, and I have Jenni Schaefer sitting next to me. And the only reason I say that is because of just how convinced I was in that moment watching Jenni speak that I could never do anything. So it's really a testament to the power of recovery and the power of asking for help and letting these amazing people into your life. So, thanks.
So that question again was, when you struggled with your eating disorder, did you ever lose sight of your passions and dreams?
Absolutely. Very similar to you, Jenni. As I started to binge eat at age 8, I had no idea who I was. It happened during my early development. So I became very good at wearing masks and putting on a different mask depending on what situation I was in, and trying to please people. And my eating disorder was my security blanket. And so who I really was, I didn't know who I really was, of course. I thought that I was who everybody else said that I was, which was this kind of worthless, ugly girl. And so my eating disorder provided that comfort when I felt like that worthless, ugly girl. And, I put all of my energy and time into the wrong things. And that included battle with binge eating disorder, bulimia, and eventually anorexia. And so with the BED, that also led into other destructive behaviors. So when I started modeling, my eating disorder was at its all-time high. And I had no idea who I was. So I used the fact that, oh, my face is on the cover of a magazine, or I can fit into a certain size of clothing, as my identity, and so it was constantly changing from one thing to the next. And the longer that my career went on, the more I lost sight of myself. So when I went into recovery, everything was stripped away from me because I stopped working. I stopped hanging around all the people that I was hanging around with, and it's like people, places, things. What are the things that are triggering you? What are the things that are not right for you? And I thought, who am I? I have no idea who I am. But then the beautiful thing about that was that I was able to finally discover who I was and become the person that I am today.
Great. Did you experience a turning point in recovery, a moment when you realized that you were ready to heal?
Oh, yes. Well, I had been back and forth to rehab, and I never went to treatment center, actually, because I had to run through all of my resources. And so I went through a 12-step group, and I went online and all sorts of alternative methods. But I couldn't get myself together. And I went through so many relapses for many years. But basically what happened is that my mother, who had problems with alcoholism, she was really, really sick. And I flew from Spain while I was working and flew home to help her. She was in rehab for 60 days, and I flew back to Spain and worked. And then I got a phone call that she had left treatment. And 2 weeks later, she passed away in an accident. So that was a turning point for me. I saw a lot of myself in my mother, and it changed my life completely. It actually launched everything in my life. All of my personal recovery were good. I decided that it was a wake-up call for me, basically. And after that, I got healthy. It was a long road. It wasn't like I just woke up the next day and it was better by any stretch. As you know, recovery is not a straight line. But it changed my life totally. And sadly, my mother's death was kind of like, her darkness was my light, I like to say. It launched my advocacy, it launched my personal recovery, it's been the inspiration behind my writing, and my speaking as well. So, yeah, that was the turning point of my life, really.
Thank you for sharing that.
Thank you.
Eating disorder. So that's the question. So what kind of led to having an eating disorder? And you mentioned before, Jessica, the genetic environment piece. So if researchers say genetics slows the gun, environment pulls the trigger. Some of you guys also touched on that, but does anyone want to answer that more fully? what you think really led to the development of your eating disorder?
Okay, so I definitely think it's genetic because I know, well, my mother was adopted, so I know that I know there's a history of and so, but I was raised in extremely, there was a lot of, like I said, trauma in my household, so that's another factor that, and we were also raised to be, even, extremely high achievers. So I think it was a combination of biological and personal and genetic. And what did I want to do when I grew up? I wanted to be in an industry that, judged me on my looks. So then I went, into that career, and everything was, you have to fit in this little tiny box, and you have to be this way, and if you're not this way, then you're not good enough. So I never valued myself based on who I was on the inside. So I think all of my triggers were definitely came from my childhood, and that was based around certain types of trauma. I couldn't get away from that, from those triggers. It was like I constantly needed those to feel, because they were familiar to me. Those triggers were familiar to me. And until I got help with those, I couldn't, move forward in my life. I couldn't heal. Because we tend to go for things that are familiar to us. We tend to gravitate towards that. So I think once you identify your triggers, once you sit down and say, okay, I need to get to the, beneath the eating disorder, what's really going on here, what happened to me, when did the trauma start, what happened, you're never going to be able to heal in your life. And so I had to go way back to my childhood and figure out what was going on. Because when you go through life, you're always going to have triggering situations, but you've got to know how to deal with them, handle them. Like now, I'll still have these things that will come up, but now it's a lot easier. I would say, oh, I know what that is, But yeah, I had so many triggers. I felt like everything was triggered.
Yeah, that's a great.
Okay.
So.
When I lose 10 pounds and then lose 5 more. When I finally size 6, better yet, size 4. When I grow my hair to where it should be. When I look in the mirror like what I see. Maybe then I'll be happy. When I buy a big house and I'm out of debt. When I get that job, have a safety net. When I fall in love with that perfect guy, and take a deep breath, I can start my life. Maybe then I'll be happy. That's what I believe, that's how I lived. Waiting for that or for this. It was never enough to be where I was, just enjoying the ride, being alright, knowing whatever life throws at me. It's okay to be happy. Don't know when it changed, but somehow it did. Guess I got a little tired of the emptiness, so I took some trust and I got some faith. When they found each other, I found this place where it's okay to be happy. Now that's what I believe, that's how I live. I ain't waiting for that or for this. It was never enough to be where I was, just enjoying